I definitely had fucking detachable penis stuck in my head today. Like at inappropriate times. I'm like driving my parents around and I almost burst out in song of detachable penis.
It's hard to keep in, right?
Yeah. And I didn't even know that song until you brought it up.
You're welcome.
God damn!
I'm like, if I burst out in song and sing that, how will I explain that away?
You can't.
No.
And then people look at you because you weren't the first person that I did it to. And then people look at you like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, you don't remember the song? And then you look like a weirdo. I'm like, what's it about? I'm like, a guy with a detachable...
Never
mind.
mind.
You have to hear it.
You know, I read somewhere once that a song stuck in your head is technically your brain itching. Like, is an itch in your brain.
Oh, that's weird.
Isn't that? I don't know if they didn't use the word technically.
They didn't use scholarly sources.
But, you know, essentially it's like having an itch in your brain.
All right.
But you can't scratch. And then once you scratch it, the song goes away.
What if it doesn't go away?
I
What
have
if you
a
have
trick.
it stuck in your head for days?
I have a trick whenever I get a song stuck in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I sing a silly song. And then it gets unstuck out of my head.
Oh.
All right, give me your goddamn, because I want to know it.
Okay, well, as you know, my car is in the shop because it was acting up, aka the check engine light came on.
Yes.
Well, apparently my turbo's broken. I don't know if I told you that. Or
You
the
did
podcast.
tell me that.
Apparently, yeah, my turbo's broken. Don't know how that
fucking
happened.
Sucks.
Yeah, they said a lot of numbers and they said a lot of things. My boss was like, well, is it still spinning? And I was like, I don't know what turbos do. And he's like, they spin. And I was like, they said it's going at 24 when it should be at 26 or one of those. I don't know.
What are those numbers?
Something-
I think they like push air into. Maybe I shouldn't try to explain what I think they do, because then anyone listening who actually knows what they do, they're like, "Oh my gosh!" shut the
Like,
fuck
please
up."
stop. Brandon said it's technically an exhaust system, so covered under warranty, bitches.
Ooh, nice.
Hell yeah. So I got a rental car, and Brandon was like, let's try and get something that's not an Escape. And I was like, hell yeah, because I want to drive something that's not something I drive every day, right? Because that's stupid. And then he asked the guy, like, can you give us something that's not an Escape? And he goes, I can give you an F-150. I started to giggle immediately because my husband wants a truck so fucking bad, and that's like his dream truck. And he's just like, yeah, that's fine. I'll do that.
I just will take that one if that's all you have.
I mean, I guess so. They're poor on gas mileage. But if that's all you have. And I have kept it from him all week.
oh, you mean like you've been driving it?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
driving it. He's like, oh, I'm going to drive it. And I was like, bull fucking shit.
This is my car, motherfucker.
This is my rental. Sorry, you're not on the agreement.
That's so funny. I didn't even think of that. When I first drove up and I like walked down your driveway and I saw the truck, I was like, maybe like Kevin or someone's here. Like,
Oh.
I don't know who of our friend drives the truck. And then my second immediate thought was like, motherfuck. I literally just rubbed all my mascara all over my face and was like picking my eyelashes on the whole ride over. And I got the fucking nasty ass rat tail mom ponytail going on.
And there's clearly a man here.
Yeah. And I was like, oh man. Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. They've seen me worse. And then
Yeah, whoever
when-
it is.
when no one was here, I was like, oh, maybe Brandon's grandma drives a truck? Because I know you said you guys, or he drove her car back or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then I happened to ask you why you had a truck in your driveway and you got really weird and said we had to record. So
Yeah, that was my goddamn.
didn't
Because
even think of a rental. You
I'm-
should have been like, what truck?
What are you talking about? That's the murderer's
I
car.
would have freaked the fuck out.
There's one in your driveway. I tried to pull it down farther, like past the sidewalk, because I was like, she's not that observant.
I would notice a fucking truck in your driveway.
I mean, I might
I'm
notice on
observant
yours.
enough when we're talking about murder.
That's probably true. Yeah.
I'm
but
very aware of my surroundings.
I look ridiculous getting in and out of it, though,
I'm
because
sure you do.
I'm a solid 5'2".
You must have a big dick, though.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. But I don't know if you know this about these trucks. The seat doesn't go up. It just goes forward.
God.
So it's all the way forward.
It's just like your forehead at the steering wheel.
I move the steering wheel down and like legit I can't reach the passenger seat. Like I put my purse over there when I get in and I'm like, that's over there now. You can't do the like mom grab, like, oh,
Yeah.
careful, honey.
Before all your tampons come flying out when
Yeah,
you brake.
exactly. So I can't, and if anyone's on the right, like on the passenger in front of the truck, I cannot see them.
Oh,
So-
dear Lord. Like a giant blind spot.
Yeah, but it's only like for small things, like children or small cars.
Like other vehicles that are smaller than yours.
Yes, which is most of them I'm noticing.
Oh, God.
Brandon's like, you might want to get some phone books from work. And I'm like, you might want to go fuck yourself.
Get yourself some pedal extenders.
My boss was like, you better be careful. And I was like, for what? I'm going to be fine.
For others.
Yeah. Everyone else better watch out.
Oh, man. Do those suckers come with cameras?
Backup camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, how did we live our lives before without backup cameras? I rely on that thing so much now.
I'll be honest, I never use mine. I
Oh,
always
man.
turn around still. Which, by the way, I've backed out of this fucking curvy-ass driveway. This cliff-sided, rock-sided, curvy-ass driveway. 2 for 2 now. Haven't hit anything.
Oh, nice.
Tomorrow is Brandon's turn, so I pulled it down a little farther.
He can figure it out.
Good luck, bitches. See if you can match my record.
Then that means you have to let him drive twice.
That's okay. He can have it for the weekend, I told him. Saturday and
Aw,
Sunday. So
you treat him so nice.
I know.
He's so
welcome.
lucky.
He was so pumped when like we
Aw.
got in and stuff. He's like, "Can I drive it?" And the guy was like, "Are you a spouse?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, you're fine."
Oh, my God.
I was like, "No."
Hands off.
Would you like to tell me your goddamn Stacy?
I would, and actually, Lee almost told you the goddamn on game night when we had everybody over and we're playing games.
Really?
He almost told you guys, and I was like, "Ugh, stop!" Shh.
Oh, I think I remember that. I was drunk.
I was not, because I got a baby in me.
You do.
But yeah, Lee almost told the story. So, and I've been hanging on to this one for the podcast. But the other day, after work, it was dinner time, and Lee got home before me, and he decided that we're going to have steak and potatoes and broccoli. And I was like, God damn, that sounds titties.
Bomb. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was so excited. And when I walked in, I could smell, like, the smell of the grill. And I
I
was
could
like,
smell the smell that smelled smelly.
indubitably, with my smeller. And I was like, God damn, what are we having? And he's like, I'm grilling steak. And I was like, I love you.
This is exactly what you married him for.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes outside, and I'm doing the dishes, like trying to clear the sink because we let them go for too fucking long.
Yep.
And for everybody in podcast land that doesn't know my house layout, it's like my sink, a window, and then the grill was like on the other side of the window, but
Yeah.
like just past the patio cover, right? So I
right
could
outside.
see it very clearly, but it's not like against the window or like on my house or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm doing the dishes, and Lee comes in, and he goes, I burned my finger. And I was like, oh shit, like put it under cold water so that it'll stop burning so you don't get like a blister or anything. But I have like scalding hot water because I was doing the dishes. So I was like,
Yeah, and you do like extra hot.
like lava.
Yeah.
And so I was like, but not this water because it's like lava.
Yeah.
And so he is doing his thing at the sink, and I'm like, I gotta go pee. And so I go into the master bathroom, and I'm about to go pee, and I'm like, there's no toilet paper. So I go to go get more toilet paper, and halfway down the hallway, I happen to look up, and Lee is standing at the sink, and now he started doing dishes because he's like,
Helping.
he was rinsing his finger off, and then now he started doing dishes. And I look up, and there's a fucking wall of flame behind my husband in the window.
What?
And I was like, fire, fire, fire. And he had the sink going, so he couldn't hear me. And he like looked over at me, and he was kind of annoyed and like turned off the water. And he's like, what? And I was like, fire. Like I was freaking out so much. All I could say was fire. And my son was next to me. And so he's at the age that he thinks it's funny to mimic stuff. So he started pointing, and he's like, fire, fire. And like laughing. And I'm like, shit, there's a fire. The grill had fucking caught on fire, and not just like a little bit of fire, like the grill was on fucking fire.
Really?
Yeah.
Like outside?
Yeah. And so I scooped up my son, and Lee ran to the door, and he opens the door, and I could just see him looking at me like, what do you do? And I was like, put it out, put it out.
You have a hose right there.
Exactly. And so he goes out there, and he still stands there for a minute, and you could see this like internal debate because it's like,
I don't want to
grease-
ruin my steaks.
Well, it's not even that. It's like a grease fire, and you're not supposed to put water on it. But the
Oh.
flames were so high that thank God it was like a little outside the patio, but still like the patio cover.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was still like, oh my God, it's going to burn our fucking house down. And as I was looking, I could see the like hose going to the propane tank, and there was just fucking fire everywhere.
Oh
and I
my
was like,
God.
put that shit out.
That's
You
gonna
don't want that thing
explode.
to explode. Yeah, exactly. And then so Lee eventually gets the hose out and he starts spraying it. And I take my son out towards the front of the house because I'm like, if that thing fucking blows, I don't know. I don't want glass flying everywhere.
Yeah.
I've never been around when one blew up, but I was like 2 blocks away from one, and it felt like a bomb went off in my yard.
Yeah, that should have like blown the side of your house off.
Hell yeah. So I was like, I want to get him out front, but I was like still standing in the doorway like, is he getting it out? Like, are we all going to blow up or what?
Yeah, do I need to take cover in a bathtub?
Yeah, like what the fuck's happening? And also, did I just lose my husband to a fire? And so,
Peace be with you on your journey.
anyway, he gets the fire out. The grill is fucking toast. Like,
Really?
we have to buy a new grill.
Oh my God.
It's bad. I guess like the grease on the bottom, it needed to be cleaned and it caught on fire and it had gone for a while. And when Lee went outside the first time and he burned his hand on something that shouldn't have been really, really hot, but it was really, really hot. He had like a little mini grill flashlight and he like touched it and it burned him. And that normally doesn't get very hot. So it must have been on fire already.
Yeah.
And he just didn't notice. Like he didn't lift the grill or anything.
Oh my God.
I don't know exactly what he did, but had to be on fire for a while for it to be like that big of a ball of flame.
That's insane.
And then he comes walking in and he's got the steak in the tongs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, can we still eat it?
It's like charred.
It was so burnt. And he goes, I don't think it's good. And I was like, I'll eat that shit. And he cut it up, and it was the best goddamn steak I've ever eaten. It was so fucking good.
So if he goes to make steak again, you're going to be like, do whatever you did last time.
Yeah. Can you almost catch the house on fire?
Oh my God. You know when Brandon
I was gonna say.
fucking caught the grill on fire here, and my brother was over, and Brandon was at the sink, but you can't see our grill from there.
Yeah,
And
it's the
also
opposite direction.
it touches our house, and it's on a wood balcony. So all the things that like, it's not safe.
To have a grill here.
Yeah. And it started to flame up and it was going up the side of the house. And I was like,
Oh,
there's a fire.
shit.
There's a fire. And Brandon was like, it's fine. And I was like, no, babe, the grill is on fire. And he's like, it's fine. He wouldn't even turn around. And I was like, it's on fire. And he finally turned around and was like, oh shit. I'm like, motherfucker. Like, do I have to tell you I'm getting raped for you to come over here?
Pay attention.
Yeah, seriously. I was so pissed at him. That's
Oh,
not,
man.
that was the first time he almost lit our house on fire. But the other one's a story for another time.
Man, it's a miracle we're alive.
Seriously, especially in this house. It's all fucking wood.
It is a giant death trap.
Yeah, but I'm glad that you guys made it out too. That's a solid goddamn.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a solid goddamn. We were like shaking and laughing and giggling after. Like, I don't feel all right.
Like, I can't sleep tonight.
I literally thought he was going to blow up.
Oh my god. I mean, hedge your bets.
Well, god damn.
I said god damn.
Are you ready for my story?
I am so ready.
Okay,
I trust you.
you should.
Take us on this journey.
Let's go.
Stacy.
Aaron.
Ew.
This is the story of the murder of Scott Dell.
All right.
Ra-da-da-da.
Of Dell Computers? Did he get murdered?
Do do do. Is that the Dell song? Dude, you're getting a Dell. That's what it used to
Yeah.
be. You remember
I was
this
like,
commercial?
no, I'm not. And then I did remember I had a flashback to that commercial.
The kid with the long hair. Anyway, okay, so Scott Dell, probably not from Dell Computers. In 1970, in Wilberforce, Ontario, Scott Dell, who was 18, met Cheryl Dell, but her last name wasn't Dell then.
I was like, wow, coincidence.
I don't know her maiden name, but she was 15.
All right.
And they met at a party, and they began dating.
I feel like 15 and 18 is a big gap for that age, but that's okay.
I know, it's kind of weird, but it's the 70s. Everybody was doing some crazy shit.
Different times, man.
Also, once you hear a little bit about Cheryl, you'll realize that maybe 15 wasn't that big of a gap for her.
Oh, all right.
When Scott would recount the story of when they first met, he would say that, like, at some point in the night at that party, he stopped and he helped light, like, a cigarette that Cheryl was smoking. And
Like a gentleman?
like a fucking gentleman. And in that instant, he knew they had met for a larger purpose.
Oh.
He'd been put on this earth to take care of her.
Aww.
I just licked my microphone screen.
That's going to sound weird.
There was like a lot of like really poetic shit in this story, and I'm so not that. So I'd be like, I'm not putting that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll speak to it when it happens.
Yeah. You wouldn't have been swept off your feet by this guy, is what you're saying.
No, I would not have. But obviously he was like head over heels for her.
Yeah.
So Scott and Cheryl, they were both described as like unique people and free-spirited.
Mm-hmm.
Scott was really
Because it's the 70s.
exactly. You can see where this is going.
Yeah, I think everyone was described that way then, but that's fine.
Oh, he doesn't wear clothes? He's free-spirited.
Oh, is he smoking pot? What a free spirit.
How long is his hair? He's such a free spirit.
Did he go to Woodstock? What a free spirit. That was the 60s, right? Sorry, everyone.
Don't be mad. Yeah. What happened in the 70s?
Don't be mad. I don't know facts.
Oh my God. Okay. So Scott was like a really intelligent guy.
Dell. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Did he make computers?
Yeah.
But he was a really lazy student and he dropped out of high school.
Oh, okay.
So he never got a high school degree.
Mm-hmm.
And Cheryl was a bit more troubled.
Uh-huh.
Like I said before, it might make some sense why she was 15 at a party smoking cigarettes in the 70s. She claims that she was molested at a young age by her grandfather.
Ooh, that's icky.
I shouldn't say it like she claims, because if it's true, that's awful to be like, doubt her. But
Yeah.
she kind of lies a lot, you'll see.
But according to her, that's what happened.
According to her, this happened. At 12, she got spinal meningitis, and she
Ooh.
spent 10 months in the hospital.
God damn.
What the fuck, right?
Yeah.
And her father said that when she returned from the hospital, that she came back with a split personality.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's not just a thing.
So you can just get one of those? Did she catch it?
I guess. But also, I'm like, you let your 15-year-old daughter go to a party, you're probably not the best parents. Also, she got molested. Not to say that you're an awful parent if that happens, but like...
Well, but also, if she just starts getting in trouble, he could be like, oh, I don't know, ever since she got that spinal meningitis. Like a way to, not diffuse, but deflect the blame.
Yeah.
For,
to,
like, your
give
not
an
parenting.
excuse. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so eventually she ends up dropping out of high school as well.
Oh,
Just to give you a little background about these folks.
okay.
And then in April 1970, shortly after they met, Cheryl, at the age of 15, was admitted to the hospital after a 3-day high. She was tripping on acid and speed.
Acid and speed, though, huh?
Yeah, at 15. 3 days she was high, tripping on the shit. And they're like, we should take her to the doctor.
Can you be high for 3 days if you do it once? Or is that like you have to be continually using
I
it?
think she was continually using it. I don't really know because I didn't do acid or speed.
Yeah.
Although, don't they say if you like crack your knuckles, if you did acid in like the 70s, you can crack your knuckles today and have like a flashback?
Yeah, I think that's a wives' tale. I don't know that for a fact, but I think it's a wives' tale.
I would like to think that it stores in your fucking knuckle pocket.
If I had ever done fucking acid, or I thought it was like LSD too or something, but if
Yeah,
I had ever
maybe.
done it, I would have so many trips.
Cracking. Hang on 1 minute. I need to crack this knuckle.
Hang on a minute. I don't want to be in this meeting anymore.
I can see your words. I can hear my hair growing. Okay, so she goes to the hospital from tripping on speed and acid, and she was assessed, and the hospital determined that she was an immature, this is a quote, immature, manipulative, and histrionic young lady who is experiencing severe emotional problems.
Because it's the 70s, and they're like, oh, she's on her period? She's
Yeah.
insane. She's hysterical.
She had, yeah, oh my gosh. Remember when they used to like fucking lock up people for hysteria?
Yeah.
Specifically women when they were on their period?
Yeah. Do you remember any Stephen King book?
I
It's
remember
like
them
a
all.
lady's kid dies and she's screaming and a man comes over and slaps her. And then she calmed down. I'm like, what the fuck? That's not what would happen if you came over and slapped me.
I would not calm the fuck
Oh,
down.
sir, you're right. I shouldn't have been freaking out over this fucking tragedy.
Now your ass is dead.
Yeah.
So anyway, despite all the craziness with fucking Cheryl, Scott still falls in love with her, and on New Year's Eve, they got married. Scott was 20 and Cheryl was 17.
Oh, okay.
Young love.
Yeah, 17. I wonder if you have to have parental consent at that age, at that time.
Shit, and on the 70s, you could do anything.
Yeah, that's probably true.
In February of 1971, so a few months after they were married, Cheryl was admitted to the hospital because she OD'd on 75 fucking aspirin.
75?
70 fucking 5.
That sounds like a...
Way too many. A suicide attempt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was going for.
Well, when they like, I don't know what they did, fucking pumped her stomach or whatever.
Yeah.
And when she would like look back at the memory or tell people about it, she would laugh and joke about the overdose. Like she thought it was funny.
Maybe it was like a cry for help.
She has a lot of things for cries for help.
All right.
So in spring of 75, a couple years later, Cheryl leaves Scott and goes and works as a stripper in Toronto.
Okay.
And then she gets pregnant. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just such a wild fucking turn.
Well, is it? She was just doing fucking acid and...
It's true. It's just like, you know, you do that shit before you get married.
Yeah, you're supposed to. But she was only 17.
That's true. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to live my life and live for me. And
I
I
gotta
want
go
to be
sow my oats.
as a stripper in Toronto. And then I'm going to get fucking pregnant by a client. I'm just assuming it was a client. So in early 1976, so a year after she left, or close to, I don't know, 6 months after she left, Scott took her back and adopted the child as his own.
Oh, he
Yeah,
sounds like a
he's-
guy.
Right? He, like, really loves her.
Yeah.
They also ended up having a child together, and they adopted another baby.
Wow.
Because I'm going to jump a bunch of years. So now they have a family of 3, and it's the 2 of them, right?
Okay.
So cut to 1992, and they're like living happily ever after. Cheryl decides to join an incest survivor group because remember she says that her grandpa touched her where she peed when she was little. And
I do remember that.
there she meets a former nun who is 6 years older than her, and they become lesbian lovers.
Okay. She's just, got to try all the angles, right?
She's tasting all the water.
Ew.
Is that not how you say that?
It's not the euphemism I would have chosen, but
Oh, God. So Cheryl asks Scott if her new lover can come move in with him, and he's like, nah.
yeah, no, thank you, though.
No, yeah. So he refuses, and Cheryl leaves Scott again.
Okay, with 3 kids now.
Well, she attempts to get full custody of the children, and she does this by lying and saying that Scott abuses the kids and abuses her, and that she saw him, like, molesting the daughter and all this other
Oh my
crazy
God,
shit. She
what a
goes
bitch.
fucking crazy, yeah. So there was, like, multiple stories that were made up, and each one the authorities would look into, and they would find them not to be true.
Okay,
So
well, good, at least.
Yeah. So Scott was, like, a nice guy, and they were like, okay, he's nice. You need to stop saying all this crazy-ass shit.
Yeah.
So in March of 93, the couple file for divorce, and it gets really nasty. Because before they were just separated and she wanted full custody of the kids, but now it's like a paper filing of the divorce, and shit gets really nasty.
Yeah.
And the judge orders her to leave the family home. Like, the way it gets nasty is she starts making more and more lies about him and, like, spreading rumors and, like,
Being an all-around
lawsuits. Yeah. Like, bad.
bitch. Yeah.
But I didn't write down all the stories because there was a lot.
Okay.
So the judge orders Cheryl to leave the family home and that the custody of the children has to be split. So, like, you guys need to fucking split up and you can share custody, but, like, just fucking be cool, man.
Yeah, go away from each other. You're clearly not good for each other.
So Cheryl's like, you know what? I have an idea. I'm going to take the kids and I'm going to run away.
Oh.
So she takes them.
Sounds like a classic Cheryl plan.
Yeah. And she flees. And then she ends up taking the kids to like a child protective agency and insists that they have to be evaluated for abuse because she wants to, like, back up her claims that her husband
Uh-huh.
was abusing the kids.
But they won't have any.
No. They were like, the kids are perfectly fucking happy and they're fine. And everybody was saying that, like, she would try to keep the kids away from Scott. And every time Scott would come over, those kids would, like, hit the door running. Like, they wouldn't even let them inside because they were so excited and they'd be climbing all over him.
Aww.
And everybody's like, you wouldn't act like that to your abuser.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he wasn't doing shit to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So through all of this, Scott cooperates with the police, and at one point he says that she was known for having these, like, periods, but that she always recovered from them. So it's almost like he was defending her. Like, this is normal for her to behave this way.
To
She's
be a
going-
fucking psycho for a while.
Yeah, she's going through a phase.
It's not just a phase, Mom.
She'll get better.
Okay, well, I mean, he still sounds like a really nice guy.
Yeah. People close to him said that he knew that she was taking advantage of him and, like, abusing him, but he was still, like, head over heels for her, so he would just, like, do whatever the fuck she wanted. Even if she was so nasty to him right before, and then she was like, hey, I need a ride, he'd be like, there.
Ugh, that sucks.
I know.
Poor guy.
It's gonna suck worse.
All right.
At one point, Cheryl made a voodoo doll
Oh,
of Scott.
did
Just
it work?
Let's just jump into the worst part. And Cheryl's lover, the nun,
Uh-huh. Was the nun like, yeah, voodoo's fine in my household?
I think they were all afraid of Cheryl, so they just kind of, like, were like, you do you, and I'm gonna walk away.
You do that voodoo that you do.
Hey-o.
I'm gonna be over here with Jesus.
Don't touch me.
Also, are nuns allowed to have relations?
Well, she was an ex-nun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know
She
what
wasn't
that
a
means.
practicing sister.
No. Okay, so that nun lover says that
Nun lover? What?
that nun lover, you know, Cheryl's nun lover, said that she had a voodoo doll and made it look like Scott. And the way she did that was by buying some sort of waxy stuff. And she, like, shaped it into his shape. And then she put ropes and pins and ribbons on it. And then she burned it.
Okay.
Fuck that. The fuck?
No, it sounds like something I would do in middle school.
Yeah, but like this is a grown-ass adult with a family.
Yeah. Does
And
it
then-
have to be a special wax, I wonder?
I don't know, and I'm not telling you because I don't need a voodoo doll of myself.
I wouldn't make one of you. I would put it at a desk and be like, I wish good things.
As you're shoving a tack into its eyes.
No, I would never.
I don't know what the waxy stuff was.
I
Maybe
imagine,
it's just wax.
beeswax.
Like you could do it out of fucking Play-Doh.
Oh.
You
there
could
go.
make a voodoo doll look like somebody. I couldn't. You'd be
Yeah.
like, who is that? And I'd be like, a generic person.
It's just a person. Don't worry about it. Has your hair on it. Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Come here. Give me that gum.
I need a piece of you.
Okay, so after 3 months of Cheryl and her nun lover being together, the nun lover was like, I want the fuck out of this relationship, especially if she's making voodoo dolls of people.
Yeah.
And
I'm
there's-
out, you crazy.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of drama around this lady. So she tried to leave Cheryl, but she decided to OD on antidepressants, and by she I mean Cheryl.
Decided to?
Yeah, Cheryl
Like-
was like, "No, don't leave me," and then she took all these antidepressants and
Ugh.
overdosed.
She's like the clingiest, neediest girlfriend that fucking fakes shit all the time.
Fucking right. So her nun lover decided to stay in the relationship for several more months.
Because of this overdose?
Yeah. She was obviously a victim. She was like, you're fucking traumatizing me. I'll stay for a little bit longer. So
Oh
she
my
stays for a
God.
couple months. And then
That sucks.
Yeah, I know.
Poor lady.
I know. And in spring of 94, Scott was diagnosed with throat cancer
Ooh.
and mouth cancer.
Ooh.
And the prognosis was really poor. Like, you ain't gonna live.
poor guy.
And so he underwent treatment. But by 95, he was cancer free. So the treatment worked.
Nice.
Ta-da!
Good for him.
And while he was being treated for cancer, Cheryl ended up breaking up with her nun lover, and she finds a second lesbian lover.
Okay. So she's just going all in.
Yeah,
On
she's
that
doing
lesbian.
she's doing all sorts of things.
All right.
But I guess while Scott had the cancer, he was all about living life for his kids. He wanted to be around long for his kids, and because one of the treatments for mouth cancer was possibly to remove your tongue, he wouldn't be able to talk.
Yeah.
And so one of his favorite things to do with his kids was to read them stories at night because they were
Aw.
young. So he recorded himself reading their favorite stories.
Oh, that makes me cry.
I know. He was such a fucking sweet man. So Cheryl and her new lover began looking for a new home. And Cheryl tells the real estate agent that her ex is really sick with cancer and that she would be getting his estate when he died, so she'd be able to afford the monthly payments on the house.
Okay.
Like, I can afford this because my ex is going to die and I'm going to come into a lot of money.
Was Scott better by this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shady.
Yep. And so obviously him having cancer really pleased her. And
Ew, that's an awful sentence.
Yeah. Her lovers, like both lesbian lovers, attested to that. Like, yes, she was very happy to hear that he had cancer.
God, what a bitch.
And she would say things like, I wish his cancer would hurry up and kill him.
oh my God.
Yeah, she's fucking awful. So when she found out that he was in remission, she got fucking pissed. Like, literally, she was visibly angry and like shaking, clenching her fist and shaking because she was so mad. And then she started asking like where she could get a hitman.
What?
Openly. Like, her lovers witnessed this.
Oh God.
So one day,
She sounds like a peach.
she's an old Georgia peach. So one day, Cheryl's cat was acting really weird on the lawn.
Uh-huh.
And it was like convulsing and shit. And
It's acting pretty weird, yeah.
Cheryl was like, oh, fuck, we gotta take my cat to the vet. And
Uh-huh.
So her and her neighbors, they take the cat to the vet, and they find out that the cat had died.
Oh.
And when she was told about the cat's death, she showed, like, no emotion at all, and she just wanted to know how the cat died. And they found out that the cat died from antifreeze. Like, it drank antifreeze and died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did she fucking test out antifreeze on this cat?
I actually don't know. Like, that part of the story wasn't in there. I don't know if the cat licked it off the ground
Uh-huh.
and died, or if she gave the cat antifreeze to see what would happen.
Oh, what a bitch. I hate it.
But the neighbors claim that because of the cat's death, it prompted this, like, really odd discussion between them and Cheryl, where the neighbor was explaining to Cheryl that antifreeze is really sweet, and Cheryl wanted to know how much antifreeze was needed to kill a person.
And the neighbor was like, oh, let me tell you the exact
Like, I don't
amount because I
fucking know.
fucking know that.
Well, it was like the neighbor's husband that was explaining this to her. So I imagine it's like if
A guy
like,
trying to mansplain a thing.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
if you were to ask Brandon what a turbo is, what it does, and then you're like, how many turbos would it take to kill someone? And he'd be like, oh, probably at least 35. The wind is blasting so fast. I don't know. You know, like one of those scenarios. I don't know. I don't know what the neighbor answered for that question. But the neighbor explained to Cheryl that it's so unnoticeable. Antifreeze is so unnoticeable, undetectable to like the human taste bud that it could be mixed with orange juice or wine. And if drank in the dark and the person had no idea, like if you gave this person this drink in the dark, because it's obviously fucking neon, right?
Yeah.
So you would notice it. That's bright.
That's why people today mix it with Gatorade.
I fucking know. That's awful, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of, you have a fucking container of Gatorade in your fridge or like a, what's that called? A pitcher.
A pitcher, yeah.
Like lemonade or something. And when I looked at it, I was like, you're being poisoned with antifreeze.
It's literally Gatorade. That's funny.
Anyway, so he was like, hey, if this person drank it in the dark and they didn't notice that it was antifreeze, they would fucking die because you couldn't taste it.
It's not a clean way to go either. It's not a pleasant way to go.
No. So shortly after this conversation, Scott comes to visit Cheryl, and she offered him a glass of OJ.
Mm-hmm.
And he declined because after his cancer, he wasn't allowed to have anything acidic
Oh, good.
because of all of his little surgeries or something like that. And I guess he found it odd, and he like openly stated to her and the lover who was there, like, you know, I can't have orange juice. Like, why are you offering it to me? That's really weird.
Yeah.
So
He thought that was the weird part.
yeah, get out of here, you fucking weirdo, with your orange juice.
Yeah.
Not taking any glasses of orange juice.
You know I can't have orange juice.
yeah. I really want it though.
Maybe just a sip.
So moving forward, then late on December 29th of 1996, I think. The dates were kind of hard to track down, but in the late 90s.
Okay.
Cheryl asks her lesbian lover to go check on Scott at his home.
I like how you just keep calling her a lesbian lover.
Well, shit, man. I don't want like the nun lover and then the lesbian lover. The second one's called the lesbian lover because I didn't write anyone's goddamn name down.
All right, I feel you.
So she asks her lesbian lover to go check on Scott. I guess they were like pretty close. Like they would go to each other's houses often to like drop off the kids and all this shit.
Yeah.
So she was like, go check on Scott because she was concerned for his well-being. And when the lover arrives, she finds that Scott's house, his door is open to the house. And the Christmas lights are on because this is December 29th, shortly after Christmas. And the sound of a record album is at its end and just like spinning and spinning and spinning.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Fucking creepy. And upstairs, curled up on the floor, she found the lifeless body of Scott Dell.
Oh, no.
Bum, 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 bum. I bet we can all guess how he died.
Was it
So-
antifreeze?
It was antifreeze. So Cheryl convinced Scott to come over earlier that day and pick up a bottle of quote-unquote homemade wine.
Okay.
Don't ever take homemade wine from anybody,
No.
especially if it's fucking neon.
First of all, I'd be like, did you stomp these grapes? You did it wrong.
This tastes funky.
I don't want your toes in my wine.
It looks real weird. Anyway, obviously the wine had been laced with antifreeze.
It's very sweet wine.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Like, maybe he thought it was like a dessert wine?
Yeah.
Anyway, fun fact, 4 ounces of antifreeze is lethal.
4 ounces?
That's small, right? That's like
if
2
you think
shots.
of like, well, an ounce or an ounce and a half, I think, is a shot.
Yeah, it's okay. That's like 3 shots.
Yeah, get your math right.
Whatever. It's like 3 and some change.
We all know we're about accuracy here.
Yeah. Anyway, there was so much antifreeze in the wine that it was neon. There was like a picture of the crime scene photos, not of like the dead body. I didn't see any of those, but like of his desk where he had been sitting and drinking the wine, and the bottle is there, and then there's like a full glass, and well, I don't know if it was full. There's wine in the glass, and it looks like fucking Gatorade.
Really?
Yeah. Why
And
would
he
you
wasn't like,
drink
oh,
that?
maybe it was like white wine. It was supposed to be white wine.
Yeah, but it was neon. Like
Yeah.
you'd pour that and you'd be like, this is not the right color of wine.
Yeah.
That doesn't look right.
Maybe it was like he went to taste it though, and like you're not expecting to be poisoned, so you're just like, oh, it's just sweet. Like I guess it's all right.
Like this must be a Gatorade wine.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, don't drink fucking neon wine.
Yeah. Don't drink neon. Well, I would say that, but I drink a Rockstar like
Yeah,
every
that's
morning.
true.
That
You
shit's
know
like
what? Actually,
neon.
neon wine sounds kind of cool. We should
Neon
make it a
wine.
thing.
Yeah.
Neon
Neon
wine.
wine parties.
Yeah.
Neon wine.
Okay, anyway, so Cheryl tells Scott when he came to pick up the bottle of wine, she's like, go home and drink this whole bottle because she claims that she had a dream that he would have spiritual visions after drinking it, and that she was trying to help him on his spiritual journey.
So she was like, I'm poisoning you
Yeah.
with drugs at least.
But under the guise of a spiritual journey.
And he was like, oh, I'd love to have a spiritual journey.
I need to be in touch with my spirit.
If someone was like, go drink this and go have a spiritual journey, I'd be like, I'm gonna hard pass.
Yeah, I know. But remember, they were like eccentric and shit.
Oh, yeah, they were
Yeah.
free spirits.
Yeah, and she had like fucking voodoo dolls. I'm
Like,
sure
he could have
knew
been like,
about her
my
voodoo.
spirit is gone right now. It's free.
Yeah.
So I'll catch up later.
But evidently, he was like, I need to open my eyes to this spiritual journey that you're claiming to have had. So after Scott leaves to go drink his bottle of wine, Cheryl's lesbian lover claims that Cheryl got out a bunch of candles and these like Wiccan books and started doing these ritual prayers.
On her voodoo doll?
I don't know if the voodoo doll was involved,
Okay.
but she started doing some weird shit, right?
Uh-huh.
So then I guess she had him call her or whatever. They were on the phone while he was drinking the wine.
Cheryl and Scott?
Yeah,
That's
Cheryl and Scott were
awful.
on the phone while because Cheryl wanted to make sure that he drank the wine and that he didn't have the opportunity to like call 911 or anything. So she like kept him on the phone, and they spoke for 9 hours
9
while
hours?
he drank this wine. 9 fucking hours.
Was he like, my tummy hurts, I'm throwing up?
I guess his speech started to get like really slurred, and they began talking about like getting back together, all this other shit. Like she would really
Aw.
sweet talk him and then talk shit right behind his back.
What a bitch.
At the end of the phone call, he started to like gasp and sputter when he was dying.
Oh.
Because, like you said, it's not a pretty death. And he said, one of the last things he said was, "You're here with me. I can see your spirit," before he died.
Oh my god.
That's creepy, right? What the fuck? And she's on the phone like, "Yes, baby, that's my spirit."
First of all, it's sad that he was still so absolutely in love with her and like literally being poisoned by her and still like, oh my gosh, thank you for being here for me.
Exactly.
While you fucking poisoned me.
I guess some of his, like, because he had a couple girlfriends, or at least one girlfriend, and he was like obsessed with Cheryl. Like, even if they did anything, he was always like, "Oh, Cheryl would love this." Like,
Oh my god.
yeah. I'm like, whoa, bro, that would not fly with me. I'd be like,
Yeah, those
"Can
are
you
some
stop talking about her?"
red flags.
Yeah. So the next day, when Scott doesn't pick up his kids for visitation, that's when Cheryl asks her lover to like check on him because she knew that he was dead. And
Yeah.
she didn't want to be the one to find him.
Yeah.
When Cheryl was interviewed by the police, she said his cancer had come back and that he must have died from it.
You know what's really suspicious? Is offering up solutions.
Yeah. You know what I think it could be? I think his cancer came back. and
He's
died.
dead. His cancer. It was probably, did you know he had cancer? It
Yeah.
probably came back. Oh, he was. I know he was in remission. It probably came
No,
back.
No, it came back. Or that he committed suicide because it came back and that he couldn't dream of
Going through treatment again or something.
so he offed himself. But everybody around him was like, "That is not him. That would never be him."
He wanted to live for his kids.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Remember? So she then tries to cremate the body really quickly so that they can't do an autopsy.
Yeah.
And the whole family is like, "No, bitch, fuck you."
Yeah. Good.
Back off. And so he has an autopsy done, and they test his body, and they find that he had no cancer anymore. Like, he still had no cancer, and that he had died from antifreeze poisoning.
Ugh.
So she was fucking busted.
And then they were like, "Hey, what's in this? Why is there Gatorade in this wine glass?"
Why is this wine neon?
Yeah.
Let me take a sip.
No, don't take a sip at a crime scene. Are you kidding me? You'd be an awful detective.
Well, I mean,
Ooh,
it's like
wine.
it's like Bear Grylls teaches you. He says to like rub the berries on your lips to see if they're poisonous.
If your lips go numb.
Yeah, you just rub the neon wine on your lips.
Yeah, you just dip your tongue in it.
Oh, I almost licked the screen again. Okay, so Cheryl's lesbian lover later testifies that Cheryl had mixed the wine and the antifreeze like concoction up right in front of her.
And the lover wasn't like,
The fuck?
bad idea.
No, she was. She was freaking out. She watched Cheryl pour the wine and antifreeze shit back into the bottle, and like I said, the lover was freaking out, and Cheryl kept telling her to shut up because she was like, "What the fuck are you doing? What's going on?" And then so the lover just went along with it. Like, clearly it was an abusive relationship.
Yeah. But then the next day when she's like, oh my God, go check on Scott.
Yeah. You would
You know at that point.
You
You're
would
like,
know.
oh, I
Oh,
wonder
you
what I'm
know
going to
what?
walk into.
I didn't specify because I just kept writing lover, and I tried to specify in this podcast now as I told the story. But it might have been the nun lover that she had go check on him because they were still friends. Like the nun lover was really close with her kids,
Oh.
so she would come around. So it might have been the other lover. There's too many fucking lovers.
Listen, ladies, get your shit straight.
Yeah, they never will.
No.
We never will. I guess Cheryl even called poison control to consult how much antifreeze is lethal.
And poison control wasn't like, if you had any, you should pump your stomach.
Well,
Like, why would they give her a fucking number?
I can't remember how she put it, but the poison control lady testified during her trial too and said something like the lady disguised herself. Obviously, it wasn't like, hey, I'm Cheryl. How much is lethal?
Yeah.
But it was like asked in a weird way. Like,
Probably like, hypothetically, if I were to have maybe drank some, like,
yeah, yeah.
How
like,
much is
am I
not-
okay?
how much is too much?
Yeah. So eventually, Cheryl's lover comes forward to testify against her. And in 1997, August of 97, Cheryl's lover ends up dead.
What?
And she was killed in an apartment fire.
A suspicious apartment fire?
It wasn't suspicious for long. Cheryl was faced with another first-degree murder.
Wait, and Cheryl wasn't in prison?
She was either awaiting trial or it was while she was in prison because she confessed that she had hired a teenager to break into her lover's apartment and kill her.
Oh my god.
And so the teen breaks in, and his plan was to cut her throat open, but he finds the lover drunk, passed out, with a bunch of candles lit. So he changes his plan, and he flips over the table with the candles on it, and he runs out.
Ugh.
And so she died in the fire that way.
Oh my god. I mean, first of all, that's probably better for the teenager because then he didn't have to do something. I mean, he did something awful.
Oh,
but he didn't.
they interviewed the teenager, and he was like, it was like such a rush to do this, and as the
Oh,
flames went
what a
up, like
fucking
he
creep.
wanted to do it. And I guess Cheryl would call him like her prince and tell people in prison that she had this guy that would do anything for her. Like she was manipulating him.
Why? How did she know this teenager?
I don't know. But it must have been like, because I think he was getting like sexy time out of it. And I don't know if that came in like conjugal visits or if it was like before she went to prison or what the circumstances were.
Gross.
Yeah. But anyway, so she was given life imprisonment without chance of parole for 25 years in like the late 90s.
Good.
So,
So
she's
she's still there?
probably like on fucking parole right now.
No.
I didn't get her like current story.
She's probably like up for parole, but she won't get it because she's a
Hopefully
psycho.
not. Hopefully not. She's super psychotic. Everybody, like, all the, because a lot of this came from, like, news articles and shit, too. And all the news articles are like, this bitch is crazy.
Yeah. Ugh.
But, fucking weird, right?
God damn.
Don't drink the neon wine.
Don't drink the neon wine.
There's
That's-
so much more to the story. Obviously, I went crazy in the beginning and got, like, every little story of her being crazy.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, when it came to, like, her sentencing, I was like, man, she fucking got life in prison. There's a bunch of stories about her in prison and shit, too, but...
Oh. Wow. Well, god damn.
Goddamn. All right, Aaron, give me your goddamn motherfucking story.
Yeah. I will.
If you could just not be so aggressive about it.
Jesus. Okay. So, I have to do a quick child warning on this one.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
But I'm doing it because it was actually a listener recommendation from Jackie. What's up, Jackie?
What's up, Jackie?
Okay, this one is about Skylar Kaufman.
This is the one I made you do because I didn't even read it. I just saw the picture of the little girl and I was like, nope,
Yeah.
Not
She
me.
was such a cute little girl.
not me.
Not me. Not today. Well, she was in third grade, and she was a classical third grader. You know, she was in dance classes. She loved to dance, and she liked music, swimming, and summer camp, and classic third grade little girl stuff.
Hell yeah. Dude, third grade, you're real young.
Yeah, you're 5 in kindergarten, 6, 7, 8. So she was 8.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, I think she was 9. I literally, that's my next bullet. So, May 9th, 2011 is when this story takes place.
Okay.
Skylar was 9 years old, and she lived in an apartment complex with her mom and her mom's mom, so her maternal grandmother,
Okay.
in Pennsylvania. Skylar was out playing with her friends there was like a little U-shaped parking lot in their apartment complex, and that was not the only place that the kids could play, but it was a popular place that the kids could play.
Okay.
And so they were all out there playing in the parking lot. So then she was last seen at 5:30 in the afternoon in the parking lot, and she was wearing a Justin Bieber t-shirt and yoga pants.
Aww.
Yeah.
It's so recent.
I know, right? I was
That
like,
makes it worse.
that was like literally the only reason that I wrote that, because I was like, oh dang, she was a believer.
God
I'm
damn
gonna
it.
note that. So she was supposed to be home for dinner at 6 p.m. and she wasn't there. So her mom went out and was like, hey, where's Skylar? Nobody had seen her. And they start looking
Every
for her.
mother's worst nightmare.
Oh my God, right?
Fuck that.
Yeah. So they start looking for her and they call the police like pretty soon after.
Good.
Yeah, and the police arrive at 7:15. So she's supposed to be home at 6.
Oh,
and the police get there by 7:15.
nice.
Yeah.
That's some good response time. I appreciate that.
I know, me too. And they were questioning the neighbors in the complex and whomever they could find.
Uh-huh. Side note, crazy that shit went down like an hour ago and then the police are there and it's like, okay, we got to find our guy. He's only like an hour away.
Yeah.
You know, most of the stuff is like a couple days later and you're like, oh my God, they're totally gone. But this guy could, I don't
Yeah.
even know if it's a guy. I'm just assuming
This
here. But
person could
you know
still
what I
be in
mean.
the fucking
Yeah,
area.
Yeah.
Yeah, or could still be doing some nefarious shit.
I'm assuming she doesn't make it. So I'm like, she could still be alive. I'll stop.
She could, but she just stop.
But just no.
But just stop.
Okay.
Okay. So then at about midnight on that night, police found blood and one of her shoes in the apartment complex's basement.
No.
Yeah.
Not a basement.
Yeah. Basements are super sketchy. And also, I did not know that there was like communal basements in apartment complexes.
I didn't either.
But maybe
But-
because it's Pennsylvania.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
We don't have basements here.
No. We don't know what that's about.
No. Oh my God. What a scary place to be as a little kid, too.
Yes.
Fuck that.
So there was one policeman in particular who was really credited like a lot in this case, because if he didn't do exactly what I'm going to say here in 2 seconds, like the shit would not have been solved, right?
Okay.
So it's nearly midnight, right?
Uh-huh.
It's dark out,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
This policeman notices a guy with blood on his shoe,
What?
on his black shoe,
How?
right?
Where?
On his shoe.
No, but I mean, like, where was he? Was it just like some random dude walking by?
It was like, I guess among the people that he was questioning.
Oh.
Yeah. And so they were like, that's suspicious. Let's talk to this guy. So then they find out his name is James Troutman.
Uh-huh.
They go into his apartment and they find exercise clothing that was completely soaked in blood.
No.
Now we're going to back it up for a minute.
No.
Yes.
I hate these fucking stories. Why did we do this? Why did we
I
do this
know.
podcast?
It was your idea, pretty sure.
Don't yell at me. It was our idea.
It was. It was a good idea
It is.
at
I
the
enjoy
time.
it.
So to back it up a little bit, it turns out that Skylar and her friend had been in this man's apartment
No.
3 weeks before she went missing.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
According to Skylar's mom, James, the guy, had overheard one of the girls say that she had to use the restroom when they were out playing in the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, "Oh my God, I have one of those."
Do you want to use mine?
Yeah, and so he lured them to his apartment.
No.
He locked the girls in there,
No.
but they were able to escape.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah.
What the actual fuck? Did she say anything to her mom?
Yes.
Okay.
So they had gone in there to use the bathroom, and apparently they became nervous when they saw pictures of like naked ladies
No.
around the, like, one thing said they were on the wall in the bathroom, which I was like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, what is this, a bar?
yeah, I guess it's weird to just have them out anywhere. Like, oh, that's my naked ladies. Especially if you're having kids come over.
That's
Weird.
my wall of dicks.
That's exactly. This is my dick wall. So they were able to leave, but the door had been locked, so it was like, that's fucking shady, right?
How did they leave?
They were like screaming and causing a ruckus, and I think he kind of like cut his losses at that point and was like,
Oh.
oh, fuck, right?
Yeah.
And then they were able to get out.
Oh my gosh.
Skylar's mom called the police after that happened,
Yeah.
but she had the feeling that they were blowing her off.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Yeah, and so it was just kind of dropped,
I would never let my kid, not to be like, obviously hindsight, but I'd be like, you're not allowed to play outside alone.
right? Or like,
Even with your friends. I must watch you at all times.
yeah,
It's fucking creepy.
yeah. Ugh.
And now we're moving.
And now we're moving. Exactly. Like, that fucking guy is a weirdo.
Yeah.
So when he was being questioned by the police, he explained that situation away as like one of the girls accidentally locked herself in the bathroom and started like causing a ruckus in there and basically like freaked herself out or whatever. and was screaming and causing a commotion, and then
He unlocked it.
yeah, and then they left. But he's trying to say like, oh, it was an accident that
Oh my
one girl was
gosh.
locked in the bathroom. It wasn't suspicious, but like the apartment door was locked. So he's
What
just
the
fucking
fuck?
shady,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Why didn't they just go pee in their own apartment?
Because they were 9.
Yeah, I know.
But you really need to instill that stranger danger shit. Because
Yeah.
I think we mentioned before, I went into strange fucking houses, and I would have been like, oh my god, you have a bathroom? Cool.
I need one of those.
Yeah. So, a little bit of I found this fucking strange. James had a fiance who lived with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Her
Was she
name-
there when the shit went down?
Not when the girls were in the bathroom, not in that situation, but she was there the night of
This
Skylar going
disappearance
missing.
thingy.
Mhm.
Okay.
Her name is Heather, and she was in the apartment when the cops came looking or whatever, and so they were like, hey, take her too. Let's go question her, right?
Yeah.
She said she came home Monday and found James, like, hanging out on the couch or whatever. And so at about 5 p.m., he left the apartment to go play video games outside.
What?
Now, here's when I know you're lying.
Yeah. We don't have a video console outside. What?
Like, okay, it could have been a misquote from the article that I was reading, but that was the only, like, explanation that you got as far as what he was doing. He left their apartment at 5.
To go play video games.
Yeah, outside.
Weird.
So after 5 o'clock, she said that she heard a girl scream outside and heard her say no.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So then she heard like crashing sounds and it sounded like someone was being thrown to the ground.
Oh, my gosh. Did she look out a fucking window?
So then she attempted to call her fiance because like he's outside somewhere playing
Playing
video
video
games.
games.
Right? Yeah. Maybe he heard it too.
Do you think she got on like the fucking Twitch stream and was like, excuse me,
Did you hear it on yours? Was he streaming at the time?
what the fuck?
He didn't answer.
Naturally.
Yeah.
I'm fighting the boss.
I can't talk right now. He called her back 5 minutes later and said that he was exercising at a local school.
What? He was playing video games.
He was. Apparently, he left to go fucking exercise at a local school.
That's stupid.
And he hoped that everything was okay.
What?
Yeah.
Why would he say that?
Because she was probably like, I heard screaming outside. Are you still out there? And he was
Are
like,
you
oh my
playing video
God,
games?
no. I'm over here now. I hope everything's okay.
Ugh. God.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a fucking creep, right?
Yeah. He's a creep.
Yeah. I just
Whoa.
went full redneck.
I was like, that's not the song at all.
So then he comes home about 15 or 20 minutes later after they'd talked on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And she
After his
said,
exercise, his workout.
yeah, after his workout. And he was wearing exercise clothes.
Yeah.
And she said that he was covered in sweat and caked on mud.
No. Ew. Because it wasn't mud.
It wasn't mud.
Why would she think he was in mud?
I don't know.
Why
Why,
exercising at the school? Was it raining? I have so many questions.
I don't think it was raining. Like, why would you not question that?
Wait.
Like, if Brandon came home and he was covered in sweat and mud and he was like, I was working out, I'd be like, first of all, liar. Second of all, why are you covered in mud?
Yeah.
Or
And-
what
and
I assume
third of
is
all,
mud.
that mud looks like blood.
Yeah, that mud is very
I
red.
thought you were playing video games.
But we are in San Diego, so it's probably clay, which is kind of red.
Yeah, but there's a difference.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck?
Yeah. So he goes and throws all of his clothes in the hamper and
No,
takes-
no. You dispose of those properly.
You should. I mean, if you're a murderer, you would
Yeah,
think that you're
yeah.
going to dispose of your clothes. Also, if Brandon came home and he was covered in mud and then he put them in the hamper, I would be like, are you fucking kidding me?
Straight
First
to
of
the
all,
goddamn
they
wash.
either go straight in the wash or you hose that shit off outside.
Yep.
Like, you're just going to ruin all the rest of this shit and
Yep.
let that shit cake on? Which she said it was already caked on. But, you know.
Well, fucking semantics.
And then they had dinner.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, during the questioning, James eventually admits to killing Skylar.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and throwing her body in the apartment's dumpster.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No.
They go and they look and they find a trail of blood from the basement to the dumpster, and they find her body wrapped in a plaid blanket in there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Why? Wait a minute. How did he carry a body in daylight to a dumpster.
Fucking right.
And,
Because,
and it was trailing blood.
at most, it would be, 6 o'clock or something?
Yeah, because she said she called at 5 or something when she heard the screaming.
Well, I mean, the girl was supposed to be home by 6
Yeah.
for dinner.
Yeah.
So, sometime between then, it was probably literally
Oh my God.
in that hour window, something. That's when it's happening.
Oh my God. What an awful piece of shit human being.
Yes, absolutely. I concur. So, James said that he strangled Skylar and sexually assaulted her.
No! Why? Why?
Yeah. And he hit her head on the concrete floor multiple times.
Is that where all the blood came from?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wait, what killed her though?
It was a mixture of asphyxiation and blunt force trauma.
Oh my God. So she wasn't dead from the choke.
No, it
From the
was
choking.
killing her probably, and then he...
Oh,
Took
that
other
makes me so
measures.
uncomfortable.
Yes. He claimed that he was in a whiteout state.
That's not a thing. Shut up.
No. And that he had just, quote, snapped.
For what reason?
Well, considering he tried to lure her and her friend back to his apartment 3 weeks before, I'm pretty sure, I think it's a safe bet that he was a pedophile
Yeah.
and looking for
Oh.
her because she seemed to have been...
Oh, was she alive when he molested her? These are details I do not need.
I was going to say, I actually don't know that, and I'm kind of glad that I don't know that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. I
He
hate
said
these ones.
that the reason for actually killing her was because he had to do it because once he brought her into the basement, he knew that she would get him in trouble.
Okay, but you're in trouble now, and it's been 10 hours. Can you just not kill people? I mean, you shouldn't do anything to them, but she could still be alive and go through therapy.
Yeah, right? It could still be okay, though.
You didn't get away with anything.
No.
You made it worse.
Yes. Well,
Ugh.
so much worse. And
Yeah.
also, if you sexually assault someone, that's fucking awful, but also it's probably not a life sentence.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine? That's so sad.
Yeah.
She wasn't there long.
No.
Not to say that being there longer makes it better, but it's holy shit, that just happened.
Well, think of the mom.
6 hours.
Yeah. She was last seen
No.
she was last seen at 5:30. So it's not even an hour window. It's a half
30.
an hour window.
Yeah.
She was last seen at 5:30 and the mom expected her home at 6.
Oh my
That's
God.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Also,
What a dick.
I don't think that she was lured into the basement this time either
No, he,
because they heard the
snatched
screaming
her.
and the no and stuff. So
Yeah.
that shit sounds forceful.
I wonder, did he just did no friends see? Was she walking back to her apartment or something when he snatched her up?
She was probably walking back to her apartment because
She
it was
had to be
about the
alone.
time.
Yeah.
she was alone because none of the other kids knew anything.
Yeah. What a fucking scumbag.
Yes. So James was charged with first-degree murder, and he pled guilty and received a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
Good.
Yep. So he's locked up for his
I hope someone
life.
fucking Gaddafi's his ass.
Gaddafi. I forgot about that. I hope someone does too. What a total piece of shit, right?
Yeah. Goddamn, that's awful.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
sad.
So, Jackie, first, you're welcome for doing that one. Second, I hate you for making me do that one.
Those kid ones are rough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. And she was such a sweet little girl.
Aw.
She had such a beautiful little smile in all the pictures. And I was like, I don't want to see this because I don't want to put a face to it. But I know, you have to, but I
Yeah.
don't like it.
I know, and it makes it so much worse when it's recent. These stories are so much easier to do when they're, in the fucking 1800s or early 60s, 50s. You're like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
different times.
It's, a little bit more removed. Whereas now you're like, oh, that creep is still, fucking
Alive.
here.
Yeah, and, I have a kid now.
Yeah.
That's not fucking cool.
Ugh, that's the worst.
Ugh.
My kid's never going to play by himself.
My kid's not allowed to do shit.
Yeah. Mom, I'm just going to walk up the street to fucking Tanner's house. I'm like,
Nope.
no, you're not.
Get the fuck back here.
Yeah. Remember that time you had a stalker and your parents were like, just run to your friend's house?
Yeah, don't stop. Well, it's because I would walk to Jamie Ann's house and they would say, if a car pulls up, don't talk to them, don't get in the car, just run. And I didn't realize that along the route to Jamie Ann's house was a stop sign. And so as I was walking, cars would stop and I would fucking flat out book it. But, come on, I was getting I wasn't getting them. Well, I was getting them when I would answer the phone, and then I'd give the phone to my dad because there'd be, a creepy guy on the phone. And my parents were just like, yeah, you can still walk over to your friend's house, which, by the way, was, 4 blocks away, maybe.
Oh, God.
I mean, it wasn't a long walk for a little kid. It was a pretty short one, but, long enough to where maybe mom and dad should go with me.
Long
it wasn't
enough
like
to where-
3 doors down.
Yeah, if there's a person that's threatening your child, or at least being like, hey, I
Yeah.
know I've seen your child today, and I'm going to call because I'm a super creep and tell you about it. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, you're not
Let me
ever
tell you
leaving the
what she
house
was
again.
Wearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking weird.
Different times, man. Even
Totally
then, it was
different
different times because your parents were like, run.
Yeah. I mean, I think they were concerned, and I remember them sitting me down and having a serious conversation. But yeah, when you chalk it up to everything, it's just like, run.
Yeah, just,
Scream like hell.
yeah, scream like hell, fight, bite.
Thanks, Mom. You don't want to just walk me down the street?
Well, I don't want to get taken. Your mom's small, too.
Oh, my God. I forgot about that. Anyway, so
I haven't because I think about it all the time. Like, my bestie could not be here today, possibly.
I don't think the person was serious. Or at least that's how I get through life.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to look at it, I guess.
They were just kidding.
Well, goddamn.
Yeah, seriously. Fucking goddamn. All right. Well, if you guys want to see pictures and shit pertaining to this case, I'll put the picture of the neon wine up. And,
Ooh, I want to see that.
yeah. Go to isgdpodcast.com.
Or you can tweet at us at ISGD Podcast.
And we're also on Facebook, same handle.
Or you can email us at isgdpodcast@gmail.com.
And snail mail Erin, so she has something to look forward to when she goes to the P.O. Box.
My most favorite part, P.O. Box 2764, Spring Valley, California, 91979.
Whoop, whoop.
And don't we have a listener goddamn
We do.
today?
It's Stephanie Buckner. Remember last week we had her husband?
Yes, her creepy murder husband.
Yes, that one. So now it's hers.
I'm so excited.
Me too. I don't listen to these until we record them. Do you listen to them?
No.
Okay, here is Samantha's Goddamn coming in hot.
God damn.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a real good one.
I feel like I know her just by her voice.
I feel like she sounded like Jamie Ann in that one.
Oh, yeah. She sounds like my cousins.
Does she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. Where are your cousins from? Virginia?
Kansas. Hey, Samantha.
You
live
from
in
Kansas?
Damn it.
Shit.
Why do we say it at the same time? That's embarrassing.
That's because we're the same person.
Indubitably.
This has all just been a good joke. We're actually one person doing a podcast
With
throwing
split
our voices.
personality. Throwing our voices. Oh, shit. Thanks, Samantha, for your goddamn. You guys send us more goddams. We'll keep fucking playing them. They're really entertaining to listen to. And also, subscribe, rate, and review us
yeah.
on iTunes or whatever the hell you listen on. And tell your friends, tell everybody
Everybody.
to listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are doing an awesome job. We're slowly getting more and more listeners, and it's really fun. And we love it, and we love you. So please help spread the word.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. And if you're all caught up on our podcast, stay tuned for a promo from Going West podcast.
Hey, this is Heath,
And this is Daphne,
and we're the hosts of Going West, a true crime podcast.
where we discuss various murders, disappearances, and serial killers.
Each week, we go into the gory details of a new case.
Like episode 5, which is about Dorothy Jane Scott, a single mother who was receiving threatening phone calls by a stalker and then mysteriously disappeared.
Or the terrifying case of Dayton Leroy Rogers, the most prolific serial killer in Oregon history.
You can find us on our Instagram at Going West Podcast, or check out our website, goingwestpodcast.com.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, and Spotify.
So make sure to check out our episodes and leave a review.
Everybody in the world, keep it real and stay weird.
Cheerio.